Another day, another gacha. Today we have Reverse 1999. Reverse 1999 seems to have kind of just come out of nowhere for me. I have been seeing ads for it for like 2 months, and I've been relatively looking forward to playing it. It's a turn-based RPG with some interesting gameplay mechanics that make it a little bit different from your average gacha RPG on mobile. It can be played on both mobile and PC. I will say the PC version, unsurprisingly, does look better. On mobile, I feel like I have the same exact settings, and yet I feel like the sprite work looks slightly worse. I don't really know how to describe it. That's just how I found the game. But anyway, what do I think of it? I enjoy it for the most part. I will get into the sort of general gist of everything as best I can. The overall gameplay I really enjoy. It's an interesting system, it's quite different, and it has some really interesting character designs. As I'm sure anyone has seen, one of your characters is Apple. He's literally just a floating apple with a bow tie, and I'm not too sure what you'd call this, but he's an apple. And he also has a disguise. Well, not even a disguise. He has another costume where he gets glasses. So the game has some weird character design, which is quite nice. But you know, it's a pretty standard gacha. You know, you've got characters, they level up. Leveling up, you pretty much just pay for. So if you want to level up a character, you literally just, as long as you've got these two currencies you have enough of, just press level up and there you go. And their stats will go up. There's also a bond system. So for characters that you use regularly, their bond goes up. If I remember correctly, as their bonding goes up, they'll gain small incremental like stat buffs. It's pretty standard gacha game affair. What the game does do a little differently from what a lot of, I say modern day gachas, pretty much every gacha that wants to be Genshin Impact, is that they've brought back smaller star levels. So this character's a 3-star, this character's a 4-star, this character's a 5-star, and then the highest one is a 6-star. The game actively brings back characters that have a lot less rarity to them. But yeah, so I can't really talk on what resonance actually is. But for now, the early game way of upgrading characters is just leveling up. And then you have this thing called Insight, which is literally just increasing their base level, I believe. Yeah, the lower cap will go up to 40, then you can increase it to 40, and you know, it's how most gachas do it now. You get to a level cap, you increase that level cap, and then you just keep going until you hit whatever the limit is. Not currently sure what the limit is in the game at the minute. You also get like insight bonuses once you've ascended, I guess, or you've incited them. It's something we've seen a million times in other games. It's just a different word for it. It's just ascending a character. They get bonuses. Each character has 2 attacks and an ultimate. We'll discuss more about that in the gameplay section part of this. And then Portray is pretty much just, if you've played Genshin or Star Rail or any game which allows duplicates, when you get a duplicate, you can just buff their entire character. Now we have Portray level 1 or P1, but yeah, characters are pretty standard. You know, we have their stats here as well, and there's a lot to characters that I probably don't fully understand quite yet, but I mean, the game's been out less than 24 hours, or just about 24 hours at the time this actually goes up. There's not too much I can talk about. As we've seen, characters do have alternative outfits, which is very nice. I do like alternative outfits in games like this. It makes your old characters seem a lot more interesting if you've been playing for a while. As with any gacha, we have all sorts of stuff to explore. This is just general currency, which you can use not here, not here, and not here. These are drops. There's so many different currencies in the game, so I'm going to do my best and just assume it with something like Genshin. This is basic Stardust. I imagine this is slightly better Stardust. And then this is your Jade or your Primo Gems. It's very similar to how Hoyoverse does it, which is understandable, being that they're the game everyone wants to be. These are Psy Cubes. I have absolutely no idea what Psy Cubes are. I'm going to assume that they're weapons. I'm guessing they're this game's version of weapons. Wilderness we'll get into, but yeah, we have shops, we have, you know, purchases. In terms of levels, you know, it's pretty standard. It is very slow to level, I must say. It takes a long time to get anywhere decent. I will say I do love this. Such a nice inclusion, telling you sort of how much of your collection for each like aspect a character is, because characters all have their own type essentially, like beast or nature, and there's a pretty standard, you know, color wheel of what is good against what, you know, pretty standard rock paper scissors type system. Here we have the ever-loving Battle Pass. You can't be a mobile game without a Battle Pass, unfortunately, nowadays. Whether it's good or not, I don't know. Okay, so you get a character skin. That's nice, I guess. If you're, like, really into the game, then, you know, maybe the Battle Pass is worth it, but I can't say either for or against. These are the current events, so with the game just being released, it's gonna throw as many resources as it can at you, which I'm a-okay with, no complaints here. So these are the free things they're giving out at the minute. I believe you can earn, yeah, once you complete Act 6, you do get this outfit, I guess. Which is nice. It's always nice to get free outfits. I won't complain. So there's a lot I still haven't unlocked because the game is quite slow going, I feel, to get there. We have a mail system. Definitely recommend playing the game. Let's be honest, if you're interested in playing the game, you're currently playing it, but the game is being very generous. They're handing out wishes and whatnot as candy, or as this game calls them, unilogs, which are just weirdly gold ethereal bunnies. There are wishes in this game. We also have, you know, pretty standard daily task. You know, it's pretty standard. Most mobile games do this. It just gives you a bunch of different resources. In the early game, I imagine, if you're anything like me, I have no idea what half of the resources do, but at some point they will be useful, so they're not a bad idea to have. We have our item menu, of course. We have all sorts. Unfortunately, you do the thing where I absolutely hate, where already hate the fact that the game has an energy system, but I get why. The way the game is designed, it has an energy system. It's whatever. It's not a game they want you farming all the time, because it would just be too easy, as opposed to something like Genshin where you have to like really go out of your way to farm everything. And this game you can kind of just auto it. But yeah, they have timed energy capsules. Don't like that at all. They don't need to be timed. I get why it exists. I don't have to like it though. In the bank, we've got plenty of stuff to go through. So you've got the like beginner purchase. It's really cheap. You get a character. I actually quite like the characters' attacks. They seem interesting. It does cost you essentially 99 cents though. This is the daily reward. Every day you log in, you'll get, I think it's 90. It's exactly the same as how Hoyo does it, and a lot of games do it now. This is the Battle Pass. And these are just, you know, general bundles you can buy. There is a friends list. If I'm not mistaken, I think you can use friends characters as like a support. Don't quote me on that because I've not tried it myself and I don't have any friends. Because there's not really an option to just add random people. You have to have their name, which is kind of unfortunate because, let's be honest, it's just easier to randomly add people. I know a big part of this game is the story. I'm going to be brutally honest, I paid no attention to the story whatsoever, which might be a bad thing, but with mobile gacha games, I have had terrible luck with following the story. I find that if I try and follow the story, at some point I will get bored of paying attention and I just won't play the game. And considering that I find gameplay the most fun part of any game most of the time, I find it very unlikely that a mobile game story is gonna grab me. So I kind of just skip it out of principle, and I'm very sorry for that. These are just collections, I think. Yeah, these just sort of show you who you have and haven't collected. It's a really cool style. I will say that I do really like the style the game's going for. One thing that does suck is the PC like settings, absolutely abysmal. You have pretty much resolution, what frame rate you want, and how you want the graphics, and then that is about it. On mobile, this is fine. You can get away with this. Mobile is pretty much identical without full screen and that what. But on PC, there's just, you need more options than just good graphics, high FPS, done. A bit more options would have been nice. So we've talked enough about that. I guess what we can do is we can just hop into a battle and we can see how it goes. Because the gameplay system, it's a lot more nuanced than you'd think it would be. I'm honestly surprised and quite happy with how they've done the system. So before a battle, you can pick your 4 companions. Note that you only ever have 3 on battle. So what happens is the assist will come in when someone dies. So if one of these 3 characters dies in battle, this person will then jump in to save the day. We also have the Timekeeper's Moxie, but essentially you select one of these and you can do these in battle. It'll be easier just to demonstrate it. Before a battle, you can select which one you prefer, and it really does change up your strategy depending on how it goes. Obviously in the early game, it's not such a big deal. So here we have the playmat. So essentially you have your 3 characters and you have a selection of cards. Each character has 2 cards that they can pull from the deck at any one time, and an ultimate. An ultimate will only occur when this little bar here gets filled with, the game calls it Moxie. And you get Moxie by playing cards, moving cards around, that kind of thing. As you can see, now there's one highlighted there because I've moved a card. You can play a card. Once you've played all 3, it'll automatically attack. If instead of doing that, you want to move a card so that they can fuse like this, you can do that. If you don't want to move a card and you just want to move it to buff up the Moxie, that is also an option. Or, as I said, you can move a card to fuse it and make it stronger. The way cards work is when you fuse them, they become stronger. So at a base rate, this only deals 200% reality damage. When you combine them, that character cannot use attacks for that turn. If you combine 2 1s, they make a 2. If you combine 2 2s, they make a 3. And then the freeze obviously is even stronger. They'll be inflicted with disarm for 2 rounds. They cannot use attacks for 2 rounds rather than 1. So essentially, you move stuff, it gets stronger. That's about the gist of it. Now, what you can do instead of moving a card, you can also just move a card, or you can move this card, and then because it's created the space, you've now got them fused together. So the system is very simple, and you'll always redraw a full hand at the end of a round, of course, and you have 1 play per character. So if all of your characters but 1 are dead, you only have 1 play. So depending on each character you have alive, you'll have 1 of these, so do keep that in mind. But yeah, as you're playing, there's a lot you can do to make the game more complex, which is what I find so fascinating, is because it takes a simple RPG turn-based strategy or a turn-based RPG and makes it a bit more like a card game with a hint of puzzle with all the fusing and whatnot. And I think it makes it really enjoyable. So what I can do is, if I want that fused for the next round, I can now use my ult since Moxie is all up and done. But I now have my remaining cards still in my hand. It is a very simple system to learn, but it seems to have a lot of complexity for those that want to learn it. If I remember correctly, there's like a tutorial guide you can go through. It takes you through pretty much all the systems in the game, and it takes a fair amount of time to get through, and part of the reason is because there is just a lot of systems to learn. Speaking of systems, we also have this. So when you have one of these, you have these 2 options. They both cost different things, and every time you move them, every time you use them, they cost more. So for instance, you can generate a 2-star incantation and you can merge it with any 1 or 2-star to level it up later. I cannot do that right now because I've already moved. So we'll just reset. We've created it, and now we move that over here and we'll make it a 3. Since I don't have any 2s I want to level, and this is actually very useful to have, I'm going to disable your attack, and we're going to activate that one. And there we go. So that's pretty much the basis of how to battle in the game. Oh, and now someone's dead. Our replacement comes in. So as you can see, overall, the game is very easy to get to grips with and play. Where is our color diamond? Here it is. So as you can see, depending on which tribe they belong to, or which afflatus, I guess, they will deal more or less damage. You know, it's fairly standard. If you've played pretty much any mobile gacha game, you know. If you've even played Pokemon, you know how the system works. The gameplay itself, which is of course the main gameplay loop and the main, you know, drive of most gachas, other than, I guess, waifus. But yeah, the gameplay I'm a big fan of. It's really interesting. It's really unique. It's an enjoyable platform. Whether it will get more, I don't know, complex as the game goes on, we'll have to see. But yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. The only downside is there isn't any auto feature in sort of the traditional sense. Hey, I finally unlocked the Psy Cube. Okay, so yeah, Psy Cubes are just weapons. Okay, that's fine. Psy Cubes are literally just enhancements to your character. That's fine. And then it's, you know, pretty standard. Level up, increase. It's pretty much the same system that everyone sort of does now. I don't know if Genshin or Hoyo were the people that like created it, but I know they are definitely the ones that popularized it, because when I see this kind of system, I just immediately think Hoyo, but that's probably because I've been playing their damn games for far too long now. But yeah, at least we've seen what the Psy Cube is now. That's the Psy Cube, it's the weapons. Pretty standard system that we're all used to by now. Going back to combat, I was talking about how the game doesn't actually have an auto function, but it does have one in a roundabout way. Let me demonstrate. So if you've just completed a stage, or actually it's probably better with something like actually an insight would be better. Let's say you've completed a stage and, you know, you want to do it again, but you don't want to have to actively do it. You can play what is known as a replay. Now, I'll be honest, it's a little bit weird because it essentially just memorizes all of the decisions you made the first time you played the stage, so you get the same outcome. At least as far as I can tell. That's how it's phrased. It seems like it makes the same decisions that you made when playing for the first time. But then I don't know if that means that the cards get drawn the exact same every single time, or what, or how exactly it works. I'm not too fussed. All I know is there is an auto function, and it allows you to, you know, play the game and use your energy without having to actively participate. You only have an auto when you've already beaten the stage, and it will memorize the very last time you played that particular stage as the auto save. Basically, as long as you beat the stage doing all of the goals, you will then have access to auto. If you want to just do your daily grinds, you aren't forced to participate. You can just be like, right, auto, done, let's go. Next up, we have the Wilderness. The Wilderness is pretty much most mobile games like dorm system. Genshin has the Serenity Pot. Most games have like the dorm. It's basically a way to increase the bonding of your characters, create like a cute little world for them to navigate. And then, of course, you've also got buildings that provide bonuses. Like, for instance, this one provides dust as time goes by. The higher level, the more dust it produces. You know, it's pretty standard sort of dorm affair. You know, you have buildings, you upgrade them, you get more resources from them. What's really nice about this is that you can pretty much just edit how it looks. All of this has been placed down by me, which is really nice. So let's say, for instance, I don't like this island here. I'm going to put it here. I don't like it there, so I'll pop it there. It's just a, you know, it's not a lot. And I'm sure for the majority of players who aren't that fussed about how your wilderness island looks, it's not that big of a deal. You can place it however you want, really. At least from far as I can tell. But, you know, if you want to make a really fun, cute little island, you've got that option. And it's, you know, it's always nice to have a little bit of base building in to just enjoy. But it's not something you need to particularly have a massive focus on. Oh yeah, you can tap your characters. They'll say stuff. It'll also increase your bond. I think the only thing I've not touched upon is the music. The music I've not mentioned. I actually really like the music. I had the game on in the background today while I was working. It's a really easy game to have on a second monitor and just, you know, every now and again you make a quick little play, you go back to work or you go back to doing something else, and then you just come back and forth. And it's really nice because no matter how long it takes for you to make your decisions and whatnot, it doesn't affect anything, and you can pretty much leave the game alone for 12 hours and come back and you'll be in the same battle, which is very nice. But yeah, I was just on the main screen listening to the music, which I think is probably the same that's in the background now. It was lovely, very relaxing. It's very nice, made the day a little bit less stressful. I really like the music. Music's nice. The one thing I personally haven't touched upon is the summoning system. The summoning system is absolutely identical to Genshin and Honkai Star Rail. Sorry, I make these comparisons all the time, but as a channel that does like a ton of Hoyoverse content, it's the closest representation I can get, and there's not really much I can do about that, unfortunately. It's just the easiest one to make comparisons of. So if you take a look at the rates with this one, we have if you've not obtained any 6-star characters after 60 summons, the rate of summoning a 6-star character in the next summon will rise 1.5 to 4%, and then it will keep going up until you hit 70. Once you hit 70 summons, you're guaranteed a 6-star character, which is very nice. And it's also a pickup banner, which basically means whatever progress you make on this one, the next time a banner comes up, you'll have the same exact progress as the previous one. So it's exactly the same as Genshin's essentially. It's really nice to have. The game does also have the 50-50, where if the rate up banner character is not acquired in the pull and you get someone else, the next time you get it, they will be guaranteed that time. So, you know, it's exactly the same as something you'd see in any old Hoyoverse game, which a lot of mobile games are doing now, which, let's be honest, makes sense because they all want what Hoyo currently have. And I get it, Hoyo have a ton of money. But anyway, I've not actually done any pulls, and I kind of wanted to end the video on just doing this one because you're guaranteed a 6-star. I don't know what the animation looks like. I don't know who I'm going to get. I do know what the animation looks like because they make you summon like one character. But let's see. I'm really intrigued to see who we get. I think I saw a video of people recommending who you should like re-roll your account for. I've not paid any attention. Whoever I get is whoever I get. I'm not faffing about with my account. I'm quite happy with whatever the outcome is. Or I did want Pavia. I've used him in the like tutorials they make you do. Okay, Onion's a bit weird, but fair play. John Titor? I don't know who any of these people are. I don't know who is any good. You know how earlier I was talking about how Apple was a weird character? This is fantastic. Alien T, just a UFO sucking up a cow. Absolutely phenomenal character design. Oh, I love the design of the Fool is cool. Again, no idea if any of these characters are any good. I mean, they're 3-stars, so I doubt they have much use. Interesting character design for Betty. Betty. Yeah, I must say I do really like just the bizarre nature of the character design in this one. Like, this dude is a straw man doctor. He looks like Faust from Guilty Gear. Right, let's do that again. See who we get. We have our 5-star. They are a mineral. We have Balloon Party. Her name is this child's name is Balloon Party. Okay. What else we got? We got Miss Mouchon. Okay. La Source. I know you're a healer. Oh, we have a 2-star. I got Door. You got Door. I'm Door, an insignificant piece of a mirror. What in the world? I know it's just absolutely absurd, and I mean, let's be honest, you're never going to have much use for a character like Door, I doubt. But just the fact that they've made Apple, Door, Alien T, it's just so weird. And I kind of love it. I have to give him props for that. I do adore just how odd it is. But anyway, here is our 6-star. Let's see who we get. Again, I've no idea who any of the 6 stars are. Ooh, 5-star though is nice. We'll just have to see. They're a star. Of all of the 6 stars I could have gotten, she's the only one I would have said no thank you to. Because they make you play her in the tutorial, and I can't say I cared for her, but she might be the strongest character in the game, and I'm just complaining because I don't care for her character design. Baby Blue. So yeah. That's our 6-star. I don't know if they're amazing. Oh my goodness. No thank you. They're giving me Shining vibes. Let's keep going, shall we? Nick Bottom. He's a strange fellow, but he does the job. Oh, 5-star. We got DK. I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'm just gonna assume their name is DK and not the other way. You'd assume that would be pronounced. Very cool. I'm looking forward to giving them all a try whenever I get around to leveling up people properly. But yeah, that's the summoning mechanic. That's the game in a nutshell, basically. Give it a try. It's completely free. You're not missing out on anything. I mean, let's be honest, if you get bored of it in a week or a month, which is always a possibility with a brand new gacha if they don't keep up with their content cycle, at least you've had a half decent time, and you can always jump back in. The game, by the looks of things, with the energy system, it's going to be a really easy sort of daily grind to keep up with. That could change in the future, I don't know, but we'll have to wait and see. For now though, I've enjoyed the game. I think the main gimmick of the gameplay and the card system is weirdly strategic, and more so than I was honestly expecting. And with new characters, I'm hoping that it becomes even more enjoyable as sort of the game goes on. But let me know how you feel about the game down in the comments below. What character did you end up getting? I'm sure some people reset for their favorite 6-star, whoever that may be, but I'd love to know who you got and if they're any good. And if the character I got is absolute trash or the best character in the game, I would love to know, because then they might be worth building. Anyway though, for now, I am done with Reverse 1999 for the time being. I've been James, the Mayor of JamessTown. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And until next time, goodbye.